Welcome back as we carry on this question about are the dead raised? And if they're not raised, then Christ himself has not been raised. And now the Apostle Paul is hammering that false doctrine that there's no resurrection with two more questions. He says, otherwise, what will those do who are baptized for the dead? If the dead are not raised at all, then why are they baptized for them? Why are we also in danger every hour? So these two great questions, if the dead, one, if the dead isn't raised, then why would anybody be baptized? This is not a verse talking about being baptized on behalf of someone else who's already died. The Latter-day Saints would take this verse and twist it out of context. He's just simply making the argument that if there's no resurrection from the dead, then there's no necessity to be baptized. Because in Romans chapter 6, he very clearly and unmistakably links this ceremony of baptism with the death, burial, and resurrection of Christ himself. And we participate in that death, that burial, and the resurrection at our baptism. But if the dead are not raised, then what's the point? And then he says the second question, and why are we in danger every hour? What is the point? If the dead are not raised, why are we risking our lives for a false doctrine? Why are we constantly in danger if this isn't true? Now, the other side of that coin is it absolutely is true. The dead are raised, and so being baptized into Christ, into his death, burial, and resurrection makes perfect sense. But if there's no resurrection, baptism doesn't make any sense at all. Our endangering our own personal lives because of the message that Jesus did come back from the dead is foolish. If Jesus really didn't come back from the dead, why would we endanger our lives like this? So the Apostle Paul is hammering home the idea at every facet of argument. He's saying, because the resurrection of Christ is true, then it's worth being baptized. It's worth risking our lives. It's worth living a righteous life in the eyes of God, because one day we will see him face to face. It's worth it because the resurrection is true. If the resurrection is not true, being baptized is a waste of good water and good swim time or good fishing time. If the resurrection is not true, then just go with the flow. Don't oppose the world. Don't oppose the culture. But if the resurrection is true, then you should be baptized into Christ, into his death, burial, and resurrection. If the resurrection is true, then you should go counter to the culture, because the world needs the light of Christ. The world needs the hope of the resurrection. The world needs to be set free from the fear of death, which is exactly what the resurrection of Jesus accomplishes in our hearts and our minds. So as you go through this week, it's Monday morning here, as you go through this week, I pray that this hammering home of the idea, this deep impression that the resurrection of Jesus Christ is a fact, will provide for you the confidence you need to talk about Jesus in every conversation, or nearly every conversation. Might not be appropriate in some, but you can still radiate the character of Christ in every conversation you have. God bless you. He loves you, and we love you too.